I want to be sure that the session has started. Amazing. So it has started the recording. Okay. So Uche from Liverpool studying data science. Amazing. Uche from Liverpool studying data science. Let me welcome other people that, yes, Kende from Hall, MSc AI and data science. Amazing. So Shrinja, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. You are looking for a data analyst role from London. Amazing. Jerry, it's a pleasure to meet you also. Yes, thank you, every single person for joining the session this evening. If you are currently maybe on the move, I'll advise that you get yourself a comfortable space. You get your pen, you get your paper, and you also get your water if you drink a lot of water like I do, and you start jotting down, because like I said, it's going to be an amazing session. And I also have a gift for you. Not just one, not just two. There are a lot of gifts personally from myself and from Amdari. So this evening, we are going to be treating a rather important topic, UK sponsorship. So many people spend a fortune relocating from their home country to the UK. Some use the school route. And, you know, the whole idea of spending that amount of money is because you believe that if you're able to just maybe finish your education, you get a sponsored visa, you're close to the system, it should be easy for you, right? After all, in your home country, despite all the challenges that you faced, you were able to navigate the hurdles, essentially. You were able to navigate the hurdles and you're here today, right? So if in the system that had so many limitations, you were able to go so far, your belief system is that in a working system, you will definitely have, you know, it will definitely be easy for you. But guess what? The system keeps changing. The laws keep changing. It's as if it's volatile and you keep wondering, how exactly can I do it? But one thing I can assure you of this evening is that sponsorship is still on the table. Companies still sponsor talents. The question is, are you worth the sponsorship? And we will answer that question. So let me just take the time to also welcome Ayotunde from Birmingham, Enoma from Bristol, Ahmed from Birmingham, and Eniola from Bristol. Thank you so much. So this session this evening is brought to you by Amdari. And Amdari is simply a platform that helps you gain the real world experience that hiring managers expect you to have before they give you an opportunity in the job market. So if you are currently applying to a job, or you know somebody currently applying to a job, one thing is obvious, and it's that the landscape has changed. Hiring managers are no longer satisfied with you just having that certification. They're no longer satisfied with you having your degree program. Now they expect you to come to the employment table with experience, and the experience they expect you to come to the table with is an experience that you can only get from a job or working in a structured system like an internship, which is what we at Amdari do for you, right? So we help you bridge that experience gap through our internship. And the way the internship is that it's a 4-month internship, and you get to select from the programs that we offer here at Amdari. So we have programs across data analytics, data science, data engineering, business analysis, project management, product design, DevOps, SOC, threat intelligence, cloud and app security, GRC, and ethical hacking. So you get to select a program from the ones that we have. And once you're done selecting the program, you also select a cohort that you would start with. We now assign a coach that's going to work closely with you. So the coaches that you work with are coaches that have spent over 5 years, 6 years in the field. So these are not newbies. These are people, these are experts in the field. You benefit from their wealth of experience, and you also benefit from the projects that you get to work on, right? So that's really what we do at Amdari. And basically, our objective is rather simple, or our mission is simple. We want to bridge the way people acquire industry knowledge and get that experience, because there are so many immigrants who are heartbroken. You spent a fortune getting here and your clock is ticking. It feels like you're going to soon run out of time.
Hello, I can't hear.
Is anybody, wait, is he the only person that can't hear me, or am I audible? Let me know. Okay, so I don't know who said he can't hear me. Okay, he needs to leave the call and join back. Let me just type. Hi, Ahmed, are you the one that can't hear me? Leave the call and join back. Let me just.
No, I'm not the one. I'm sorry, that was
okay. Okay, thank you. So thank you so much. So I've typed, I hope he sees it. But yes, so basically our mission is rather simple. We want to change the way people acquire industry knowledge and gain experience, because there are so many immigrants out there that are heartbroken. You spent a fortune coming to the UK, and the whole idea for making that sacrifice is because you felt like you'd be able to get yourself situated in the country, but time is going. Things are no longer the way they used to be. In fact, what you heard and what you have experienced being on ground are two different things, and you just don't know what to do. So if the only reason why you're not able to land that job is because you lack experience, then Amdari is here to bridge that gap, right? Amdari is powered by three powerful co-founders. In fact, the reason why Amdari exists is because of their personal experience. They relocated to the UK, they struggled to land a role, struggled to get a visa sponsorship. And when they hacked the system, they realized that if it took us this long to hack the system, and if we struggled this much to get into that visa sponsored role, then we should create a solution that can help people like us bridge the gap and help them accelerate their progress as quickly as possible. So the first person I have here is Adeza Suleiman. Adeza is one of the co-founders, or rather Adeza is one of the co-founders of Amdari, and he's a technology expert with decades of experience. Over the course of his career, he has founded Tenalytics and co-founded Amdari, and through the work that he has done there, he has been able to help over 3,000 people make their transition into the tech ecosystem and land their first tech job. And mind you, these people are coming from a non-traditional tech role. So he has been able to build a system that has helped these people make their transition as seamlessly as possible. Mind you, Adeza has a BSc in industrial chemistry. So he also made that transition, and he just simply replicated all the steps he took to ensure that he helped other people make that transition too. So aside from the work that he does at Amdari and the work he also does at Analytics, he has worked as a data scientist, he has worked as a data analyst, he has worked as a business analyst too. Currently, he resides in Alberta, Canada with his lovely family. Now, the next person I'd love to introduce you to is Efemina Ipru. So he's another co-founder that has a wealth of experience in the data ecosystem. In the course of his career, he has co-founded Analytics and also co-founded Amdari. And he too has also helped 3,000 plus people make their transition from a non-technical background to a tech space and land their first job. He has worked as a data scientist. He has worked as a data analyst, a business intelligence analyst. He has worked as a data engineer, a management consultant. So I love to say that Efemina is the master of the data ecosystem, right? He also resides with his family in Alberta, Canada. He also resides with his family in Alberta, Canada. And on his own, he has been able to help over 10,000 people make their transition into the data ecosystem. Now, the last but not the least co-founder we have here is Omomi Victoria Sampson. So Omomi is a business and tech executive who has her roots from software engineering. Currently, she serves as the Chief Technology and Business Officer. And I would love to say that Omomi is the woman of strategy for the company, right? So if Adeza brings the structure and Efemina brings the data, Omomi is the person who brings the strategy. So she is big on technology and using technology for good. She's not interested in technology for the sake of, okay, let's take pictures, or this person got funding. She believes that if she must involve herself in any project, that tech project must be solving a real business problem, right? Over the course of her career, she has worked across edtech, film tech, marketing, to mention but a few. So that is Omomi and the amazing things that she does. Now, let me quickly introduce myself. Please, am I audible? Am I audible? Let me be sure that I am audible. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Christiana, and Jennifer, please, if you're on the call, could you mute everybody so that I'm not interrupted? Thank you so much, Jennifer. So yes, my name is Christiana, and I'm a revenue operations specialist. Over the course of my rather interesting career, I've had the opportunity to spearhead projects that have been around reskilling the future of work. And I've done this through the role that I have occupied as the vice curator of the Global community, which happens to be the youth arm of the World Economic Forum. In that capacity, I've had the privilege of recruiting people. I've had the privilege of also sitting down in interviews and seeing how hiring decisions have been made. I've also had the privilege of understanding how a single role can either impact or destroy the revenue of a company. So the conversation that we are about to have this evening is not something I read in a book. It's something that I have experienced firsthand, and I'm here to walk you through the whole journey. Right now at Amdari, I serve as the innovations and growth catalyst, and really what I do in that capacity is that I help the company drive sustainable growth. But aside from that, I'm also part of the consulting arm of the company, where we help guide people as they make their transition into the ecosystem. So if you have questions like, okay, how do I make a pick between data analysis and data science, then I'm your girl. The team is your girl. Or you're trying to understand, okay, these are the transferable skills I have. Which tech system or which tech ecosystem should I play in? We are still the people you speak to. I'm the girl that you speak to. So really, that is a summary of who I am and what I do. And just for fun, I'm also a professional water drinker. So in the course of this conversation, I'm going to be taking permission a lot to drink water because I easily get thirsty. So thank you so much once again for joining my session. And I promise that you are going to get a boatload of value. And just to mention, if you have not invited somebody that you know that will benefit from this session, please, you are wrong, right? Please, you are wrong. Send that invite. Let them also hear from what you're hearing, the wealth of experience. And just to mention again, in the course of this presentation, my colleague will be sharing a link to an attendance form. Please fill the attendance form if you would love to have a copy of my, also a copy of the recording. So please fill the attendance form. So what will we be talking about today? First things first, we are going to be looking at the harsh reality of the immigration ecosystem. Things have changed. Let's not play. Things have changed. Things have really changed. So what people did 5 years ago, what was possible 10 years ago, is no longer possible now. In fact, they have now increased the time that it takes for you to now settle in the UK from 5 years to 10 years. So a whole lot of things have changed. So if things have changed, it now also requires us to change the way we move. We need to now understand the ecosystem. If you don't understand the ecosystem, then how exactly do you plan on hacking the system? The next thing we're going to be looking at are the 5-step framework. I call it the 5-step framework to getting UK companies to sponsor you. Now, you're also going to see how Amdari can help you position for your sponsorship. And last but not the least, we have a special offer for you. So kindly stay till the end of this session so you can receive your special offer from Amdari. And this is me still reiterating it again. Please stick around for your special offer. I promise you it will be worth your while. Now, before we jump right into the session, I would love us to meet Jane. Now, Jane is a representation of many of us on this call. She's currently rounding up her program, her master's program from the University of Leeds. And to be very honest, her mind is not on the thesis that she is currently supposed to be focused on. If anything, her mind is on how she can get a company to sponsor her, because the reason why she's even in that master's program was she used it as a doorway to get into the UK system. So the whole idea is she wants to settle in this country. So how can she do that? Fortunately for her, she found a way. She discovered a playbook that can help her get a UK company to sponsor her. And fortunately for all of us on this call, we are going to use this evening to go through that playbook alongside with her. So you're going to see how she and you can get UK companies to foot your sponsorship bill, right? So please be patient. And like I said, get yourself your pen and your paper because you have a lot of jotting to do. You can't see my screen. Please, can anybody see my screen? Give me a thumbs up. I'm wondering why so many people. Okay, so I'm sorry, Nelly. I don't know why you can't see my screen, to be very honest. I don't know why you can't see my screen. So now thank you so much. Now let us look at the truth. Let us look at the truth. A lot of things have changed since 2014, or rather 2024. Let us look at the truth. Gone are the days when it was so easy for anybody to just easily settle in the UK. Now, the Home Office in 2026 is no longer looking for workers. They are no longer looking for workers. They are looking for shareholders. They're looking for shareholders that will contribute to the economy. People whose taxes will make an impact. People whose taxes will move the needle, right? So they are not just looking for anybody. They're looking for people who have upskilled themselves to the level that they can make real world, or rather that they can create real world value for the UK ecosystem. A lot of things are changing. The economy is no longer friendly. So it is now, or rather, the onus now rests on the government to look for creative ways to generate income. And that is why you're seeing the changes that are currently happening in the ecosystem. Oh, this law has been passed, this law has been revoked, this is happening, that is happening. This is because they are looking for creative ways to make money, and in a legal way, to be very honest, right? So even though, yes, there was that care visa and there were some mid-level visas that you could step in, some mid-level roles that you could step into, the reason why they are working hard to scrap those roles is because the impact that you're creating is little to none. The salary that you're making is little. And if your salary is little, the tax that you'll be remitting will be little. So they don't want people that are coming and are not really making an impact for them. So that is why you are seeing the changes that are currently happening in the ecosystem. And aside from that, it's not only you, the candidate, that is being affected. Even the employers are being affected because sponsorship is now very expensive, extremely expensive. For a company to sponsor you, they have to spend at least £10,000 on your sponsorship. Well, for the bigger companies, they have to spend that much just to sponsor you. For legal fees, paperwork, administrative fee, it's very expensive because the UK government is also fining them for not hiring locally. Since you say that you want to go and bring somebody from an international talent, since you said that you want to invite an international talent to come and fill that role, you're going to pay a fee for it. So it's not cheap. What this simply means is that when you have the opportunity to sit down in a room with an employer, you don't go there and say, oh, I can do this and I can do that. You don't go there and say, oh, I have passion. You don't go there and say, oh, I learned this tool and I learned that tool. No, you don't do that. Once you get the information that you have been called for an interview for a company that you believe will sponsor you, the next thing that you should do is sit down and do an aggressive research on that company. What problem are they facing? And how does your role impact the solution to that problem? You must figure that out. You have to figure that out because most times the hiring managers that speak to you, they don't really understand your job. They are depending on you to explain what you're coming to do for them, even though they are the people that put out that ad. They don't understand your job. So if you go there and you go and play the game that every other person is playing, oh, my name is this, I studied this, I took this course. If you go and do that, I'm sorry, you're just going to be like the masses. And what happens to the masses is that they will be ignored. So you have to go for every interview with a game plan, because if you want to be sponsored, you have to show up like a solution, not a cost. That's one thing you need to understand. And aside from that, I need to make you understand that you're no longer even playing the talent game. No, now you're playing the game of economics. What's the game of economics? You must be a business solution, like I've said. You must prove to the company that is planning on hiring you that, see, I know that to bring me on board is expensive. I know. But see that as your recruitment cost, because the value I am going to create when I join the company is greater than the money that you spent on me. You have to show them that you are a smart business decision. And I need you to understand that your competition is not just it's a global competition that you're facing. The very thing that you saw that took you to the UK, other people are seeing it. The very thing that you want, other people want it. So why should they go for you and not go for the other person? If you keep doing what everybody is doing, you'll keep getting results every other person is getting, right? So you need to understand that, one, you're playing a global game. Two, you're playing a game of economics. So when you step into the interview room, you have to show them that, see, I can see the problem you're facing, and this is the solution that I can proffer. This is what I can do in this room. This is how I can fill this capacity. So like I said, you need to show the hiring managers that you are a business solution. You need to speak their language. And what is the language of recruiters? They need to understand revenue. They need to understand the revenue you're bringing for them. They need to understand how you improve their processes, and really they need to understand how your presence in their company can help them to improve the outputs that they give their customers. So if you are able to understand this and you're able to explain it to them in the interview, trust me, you have made sponsorship their problem, not your problem, right? What if I don't have what it takes? Don't worry, knowledge. We'll speak after the presentation, and I doubt that you don't have what it takes. I doubt you don't have what it takes. Everybody has what it takes. The only thing is that you need to put in the work. Every single person has what it takes. The people that have got sponsorship today, the people that are getting sponsorship tomorrow, the people that got sponsorship last year, the people that got sponsorship last week, they don't have two heads, right? They don't have two heads. They have one head, just like myself and yourself. So you have what it takes. The only thing is that you need to discover what it takes and put in the work. And thankfully, this session will uncover a lot of these things, right? So I just had to put together the economics of sponsorship. It's just a simple mathematical calculation that can help us visualize what I mean by you have to show recruiters that you're worth the pain. So first things first, if sponsorship costs over £9,000, you need to show them that your presence in that company will help them save more money or even make more money, right? And when you can show this to them, one thing is obvious, they will be happy to sponsor you, because yes, they are spending money on you, but they see that as a business cost. They don't see it as a waste, right? So this is just the simple mathematical equation that I put together, and I just want to help you picture it. Picture this when you're going in for any interview. If I can prove to them that I can make them money, trust me, they will definitely take that chance on you. And I need you to also understand one thing. A person sponsoring you is not them doing you a favor. No, they are not doing you a favor. They are paying that money because you're going to create value for them. So if they are going to pay that money, you have to show them that they are not playing a charity game, right? So if there's one thing that I want us to disabuse ourselves from the beginning of this session, is that whoever is sponsoring you is not doing you a favor. You are also not doing them a favor. If anything, it's a symbiotic relationship, or it's supposed to be a symbiotic relationship. So I'm a science student and I love being geeky sometimes. So symbiotic simply means win-win. I win, you win. There's a reason why companies sponsor. They don't just decide, okay, today I want to sponsor people, I want to spend money. No. The reason why they sponsor is because they've looked around and they have checked and they have seen that there is no local talent in-house. There's absolutely no local talent in-house that can fill this role. So we need to introduce international talent. So if you're coming in, and yes, they are spending money to put you in, you're also creating value for them. So again and again, you are not being done a favor. In fact, if you feel like you're being done a favor, then respectfully, you shouldn't be sponsored, because it means that you're not creating value for the company. So if you're creating value and you know the value that you're creating, then you are not doing them a favor, they are not doing you a favor. So that's one thing that we need to reestablish from the beginning. Now, I know that I have said a lot of hard things, and you might be wondering, okay, what authority do I have to say this? So Amdari, we built a system that has helped a lot of people gain sponsorship, right? And I would love us to briefly hear from one of such people. His name is Pedro. So I'm going to share my screen now. His name is Pedro, and Pedro joined Amdari, and 3 months in, he was able to get his visa sponsorship. In fact, just to answer Knowledge's question, because I want to I want to capitalize on what Knowledge said when you were like, oh, I don't think that I have what it takes. Like I said, we're going to still speak more on that. But for Pedro, when he joined Amdari, he spent 3 months in. And when he saw the job offering, he was like, he didn't want to apply because he felt like he was not ready. He felt like he was not qualified. How does he go to that interview and tell the recruiter that all he has is 3 months of experience? So he wanted to like maybe chicken out. But thankfully for Pedro, he informed his coach, who encouraged him to go ahead and apply to that role. She promised him that she was going to go on that journey with him. And thankfully, the rest is history. So let us briefly hear from Pedro what his journey was like and how his experience with Amdari helped him to position himself as a problem solver as opposed to somebody looking for a visa sponsorship. So this is Pedro's story.
And congratulations on landing the cybersecurity role. Is it SOC or what's the job title?
It's OT security specialist, but more of OT security. So it's cybersecurity, but in operations technology.
Amazing. And it came with visa sponsorship, correct?
Yes. Role.
Yeah. Let me blow some confetti, imaginary confetti. Congratulations.
Yeah,
all right. So I would like to know how your experience, right, the work experience at Amdari helped you go from being a job seeker to becoming job ready, right? From the mentorship to the project. How did the work experience help you go from being a job seeker to being job ready?
Okay, so for starters, in my IT career, I've been more of a lone wolf. I like to study on my own, do my certifications, but moving to the UK, I realized that I had to change. I knew I needed some form of mentorship, and that's how I stumbled into Amdari. And yes, the program helped. It provided some guided mentorship that helped me determine the road that was suitable for me and how to navigate to the next chapter. I was already in employment, but I knew I needed to pivot. And yes, the Amdari experience was very important, and it contributed to me landing this new role.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you very much, Pedro. So what specific aspect of this internship would you say helped you ace your interview?
Okay. For starters, Amdari helped. They have several services. I think the very first one I opted for was the CV rebuild. That is very, very important. And after the session, my CV got a lot better. I knew I was getting a lot more interviews, but I was really picky about the companies I wanted to join. So the CV rebuild was very, very good. And when I did get called for this interview, they also helped with interview preparation sessions. That was very good. That's put me in the right place to answer, to predict questions that were going to be asked, and that really helped to land the role. Then the experience with Amdari was amazing. I was in the SOC analysts cohort. We dabbled into several projects, ranging from SIM analysis, we're building VMs and doing malware analysis. And yes, I mentioned that during my interview, and yes, it really did help.
Okay. Awesome. Cute and beautiful. So,
okay, please give me a thumbs up if you heard everything Pedro said. Let me be sure that the audio was audible. Please give me a thumbs up. Thank you, Ayotunde. Thank you, Mercy. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Matthew and Ahmed and Guna. Thank you so much. I'm overwhelmed. Thank you. So yes, you can hear from Pedro that, in fact, he mentioned something interesting. He was picky. He was picky about the companies he wanted to join. So you know when somebody has so much value that they have the audacity to be picky. That was where Pedro was, right? So that was Pedro. Now, the experience that he got from Amdari gave him the confidence. It gave him the confidence. And if you also listen to what he said that he got interview prep sessions from us. That's also part of what you get when you join Amdari. But the interview prep session helped him to predict some of the questions that he will get. And he still made reference to the experience that he got when he joined Amdari. So long and short, like I said, the conversation we're having this night is not something that, we read from the internet or we read in a book. It's something that we at Amdari have been able to help people successfully achieve. So it's easy peasy for us, right? Now, let's come back to the recruiters. One thing you need to understand about recruiters is that whatever they are doing, it must impact their business in a positive way. The reason why businesses exist is not because they don't have what to do. To run a business is not easy, right? Every month you have to set money aside and pay people. It's not easy. So when they are bringing people in, they want to be able to predict your usefulness of the business. They work with predictability, not possibility. It's not a charity game. It's not an emotional game. It's a game of business. They need to be able to know that, one, you can create value for them from day one. That's the first thing they need to know, that you're a valuable candidate, you can create value for them from day one. The second thing they need to know is that you fit the cultural context. Not only have you created that value, but you can create that value in their place. You can create that value in that country, right? So they need to know that you are culturally aligned with the UK system of doing things. And last but not the least, because even if you have the experience and you're able to create value for them, you're culturally aligned, they also need to make sure that they can bring you on board cleanly. Because like I mentioned earlier, sponsorship is not cheap. They have to make sure that they fill up a lot of paperwork. And if for any reason they make the slightest mistake, they'll be found wanting in a compliance issue, right? So they need to make sure that you're not coming with any baggage. And trust me, the system has changed. The system is very, very, very stringent. But like I said, it's possible. The only thing is that you as an individual need to understand what exactly is going on in the system so that you can hack the system. Now, like I said earlier, the recruiters or the hiring managers in 2026 are liable for the people that they bring on board. So Home Office did not say that they should not sponsor international talents. Bring whoever you want to bring, that's your choice. But one thing we are telling you is that if you don't do your due diligence on that person, and we find out that that person is wanting in one way or the other, it is you we will hold responsible, not them. It is you that we will hold responsible, not them. Because sometimes it might be NHS debt you did not even know that you have. It might be a driving issue that you had maybe 10 years ago. It might be a visa overstay that you did not know you had, or you don't think is relevant to the job role that you are applying for. If they ever flag it, it's enough to cancel the sponsorship that you've been gotten. Now, it's not just you that gets affected, right? It's not just you that gets affected. Remember, you went there with the sponsorship backing from a company. Now, if that company has too many strikes, because for every time they bring somebody that is not qualified, they get a strike. So if they have too many strikes, what that means is that they will lose their license to sponsor people. And what that means for that business is one thing. They now have to fire every single person they are sponsoring. Every single person they are sponsoring. That is going to cost them loss in money, loss in time. Their customers will be dissatisfied because the people that are supposed to be doing the job have now been laid off. So it is going to create chaos for them. This is why many times when you're trying to land that role, it's as if the system is fighting you. The system is not fighting you. They just need to be careful. And you, as a candidate that wants to be sponsored, need to ensure that you are coming correct. You need to make sure that you don't have any baggage anywhere. You need to ensure that even if you have, you sit down and you try, whether you hire legal aid or whatever, you sit down and you try to understand, okay, this is the challenge I'm having. How can I clean up this mess? You must clean up your mess before you go in or you start hunting for a sponsorship job, right? If you're owing NHS anything, please clear your debts. It's as simple as that. Make sure that you do not have any baggage around you because they will catch you. That's one thing I'll tell you for free. They will catch you. The system is now automated. There is now a data sharing system. So if you move from Bristol to London and you think that what you did in Bristol, nobody will catch you, they will catch you. I'm going to tell you that for free. So you need to ensure that you are not a baggage so that when you go to that company and you're speaking to them, you're also not speaking to them from a place of, this is the value I bring. You're also speaking to them from a place of, I have done my due diligence. I know the stress that is going to cost you to bring me on board. And this is what I have done. This is what I understand. These are the laws that we can take advantage of to help us to, these are the laws that we can take advantage of to help us reduce the cost that is going to take. So there's something that's called the new entrance. There's something called new entrance. So what that means is, if you're under 26 or you just finished school and then you're looking for a visa sponsored role, even if it's a role that requires the lower threshold of 41,700, What that simply means is that it lowers a little bit to 33,000 or thereabout. And when it lowers, you can still get that sponsorship, even if the role that you're going in for qualifies for the 41,700 minimum threshold. And that's because you are considered a new entrant. So you need to understand the law like the back of your palm. You need to read it. Naivety is not an excuse. Time is going and it's not your friend. Remember the reason why you made the sacrifice. Some people got into the UK, they sold their property. Some people got there through loan. Some people, their family had to crowdsource money for them. So sacrifices have been made. And if those sacrifices have been made, it's now your duty to be strategic. It's now your duty to understand the law so that you can play the law in your favor. Another thing you need to understand, because I keep saying that they will catch you. And I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but I'm just trying to be honest with you because that's the reality. Another thing you need to understand is that the filter has now been automated. Now, in the past, before 2024, when you go to the office and then a caseworker is looking at your file, they could see some minor misdemeanors and just say, okay, why did you make that issue? Okay, why do you have this parking ticket? Why did you stay for too long in the country? What happened? And maybe you could appeal to their empathetic side, maybe. But there are certain things that are so little that they'll just overlook it like an innocent error, right? But currently in 2026, the system has been automated. And the way it has been automated is that if there is anything that naturally should disqualify you and is ticked yes with their data sharing system, let us say you stayed in the country more than your visa, I keep using that example, and it's ticked yes. The system, that robot, that algorithm is going to just throw your information away, right? And I know that I'm using really heavy terms, but it's just me being serious because things are serious. We can't be drinking milk when things are this serious, right? So this simply means, this just me re-emphasizing that you must ensure that you're not coming with any baggage. It is very important. You want a company to sponsor you, it is very, very, very important because they would. You see the UK government, Home Office, they'll do their background check. They will do their background check and you must be spotless, right? Now, you must realize that an employer is not just hiring you. They're making a bet. They're making a bet that you're a good candidate. They're making a bet that if they bring you in, they will not have any issue because they understand that if there's any issue, any speck of dust, any little issue, it's going to cost them their certificate if care is not taken. So they need to be meticulous. They need to be very, very, very meticulous because a lot is riding on them bringing in the right candidates. So the question I have for you this evening is that with everything we have said, are you a good business investment or are you just a bad sponsorship cost? Again, are you a good business investment or are you a bad sponsorship cost? You are not playing the game of talent. You're playing the game of economics. You must show a company how bringing you in is not them risking their entire business. You must show them how bringing you in is not them wasting money. You must show them how bringing you in can create value for them from day one. So again, I ask, are you a good business investment or a bad sponsorship cost? That is one thing I want you to ask yourself each and every day throughout your journey to getting a visa sponsorship. Even when you're going to that interview, when you're preparing for that interview, you must ask yourself the key question of, am I going to be a good business investment to this company, or am I just going to be a bad sponsorship cost? Because if you're a bad sponsorship cost, nobody is going to sponsor you. And that's the honest truth. Nobody's going to sponsor you, right? So now let us explore the 5-step framework that can get you hired by a UK company and get them to sponsor your visa. Now, mind you, I want to believe, sorry, let me just drink water here. So sorry about that. Now, I want you to understand something, right? That the next steps that we're going to be sharing are steps that is you being strategic, right? These are strategic steps. And just to mention, Please and please, you're just joining the session. The session is being recorded, and the slides, the resources that will be shared this evening will be shared via an attendance form or via the emails that fill up the attendance form. So please and please, if you want to have access to my slide and a copy of the video, kindly fill the attendance form that my colleague will be sharing throughout the session. So I just wanted to mention that. Now, here's the first thing that you need to get in the bag if you want to land a visa sponsorship in 2026. Firstly, you must pick an in-demand career. If in this day and age you decide that you want to go and learn how to become a typewriter, I'm going to tell you this for free. You won't go far because nobody wants a typewriter. In fact, it's not even being used. It's not being used again, except maybe you want to work in a museum. Maybe they to work. But in this day and age, you must pick a skill set that is in high demand. You must approach that skill set, or you must approach learning that skill set from a place of empathy. What do I mean a place of empathy? Businesses have a problem. The UK economy has a problem. How am I as an individual able to position myself to solve their problem for them, right? Now, it might be difficult for you to maybe look into the society and find a problem, but there are still some documents that you can explore to help you figure out where exactly you can position yourself to land a visa sponsorship role in today's job market. So one of such documents is the Future of Jobs report. Now, this report is published every 2 years. The one that we have here is from 2025, and the next one is going to come out in 2027. Now, the Future of Jobs report is a report by the World Economic Forum, a forum that's made up of world leaders, industry moguls, and every year they meet up in Geneva. They've already met for this year. They meet up in Geneva and they look at, okay, what exactly is going on in the world? AI is here, this is happening, that is happening, the other thing is happening. So they look at the trends that are happening in the world, and then they help to also figure out how countries can be best prepared for the changes that has come. Aside from that, they also explore the job landscape. What jobs are going to be in demand in the coming years, and what jobs will decline in the coming years. So if you want to have a copy of this, you can click on the download, you download it, and you can go through the report, right? So like I said earlier, if you want to have a copy of this or the link to this document, kindly fill the attendance form. Now, for us at Amdari, how did we use this? Earlier in the session, I mentioned a couple of programs that we offer, which include data analytics, data science, data engineering, product design, project management, business analysis, SOC, GRC, ethical hacking, cloud and app security, and DevOps, right? So these programs that we are offering at Amdari, we didn't just randomly pick them. We had to do our own job analysis, looking at the data out there, what jobs are in demand, right? What jobs are in demand, what jobs are going to be in demand in the coming years, and what jobs are going to decline in the coming years. And based on what we found out from our job research, we now juxtaposed it with the Future of Job reports, right? We also put it side by side. I made a comparison. Okay, is there an alignment with what exactly we found and what is also being required in the Future of Jobs report? And fortunately, we found that there was an alignment. So you can see from this report that the jobs that are going to be in demand from now till 2020 and 2030, we have data engineering, we have data analytics, we have cyber security, we have business analysis, we have DevOps, we have product design, right? So like I said, if you would love to have a copy of this, kindly fill the attendance form so that you can have a copy of the reports. You can read the full report from end to end, and you can position yourself for a career path that is only aimed at growth. Now, aside from that too, okay, you can also see data analytics. So this is another, this is like the flip side of the report. You can see data analytics, data engineering, cyber security, GRC. So there are so many jobs here that are in demand. So you just have to read through and make sure that you position yourself appropriately. Now, aside from that, you also need to be strategic. The Future of Jobs report is for the global space, right? But now within the UK, they have been so generous to post the skills that are in high demand, the skills that they are sponsoring for. So let me share this, right? Let me share this. So you come to this website, which is the skilled worker visa eligible occupations and code. You come here and you go through the different occupation codes. You go through the different occupation codes. If there's any skill that you may be selected from the future of job report, and then you want to find out if it's in demand in the UK, which you should, you simply come here. If you're not familiar with the code that you should check out for, you come to this cascode tool, and then from this tool now, you simply type in the keyword for the role that you are looking out for. So from here now, let's see, what role should I look out for? Let's look out for business analysis, right? Business analysis. Mind you, this is quite simple. So now from here, you just click on code and it's going to process. Now, business analysis is 2431. Great. Now, you now come back to that page that we're seeing, 2431, and you come down. You come down, 2431. Let's go there. 2431. Okay, so this is it. 2431, business analysts and consultant, management and management advisors, risk analysts, management consultants, business analysts, not elsewhere classified. What do you see here? Higher skilled. So what this simply means is that the possibility of you getting a visa sponsorship as a business analyst is high. The UK government is looking for you because they are in short supply. Now, I just want to come up here and show you something so that you can see the classifications. You can see eligible for skilled worker as higher skilled, medium skilled, or ineligible. So that simply means that there are certain skill sets that are ineligible, and you still see them here so that you know where you stand. So please and please make sure that the first thing you do when you want to get a visa sponsorship is to get a role that improves or increases the chances of you getting that sponsorship. Don't be emotional. Don't go and pick something because, oh, you heard that it's making money, or because one YouTube influencer said so. You must do your research. That is your responsibility. You don't have the luxury to be naive. Time is going. Now, the next thing that you should do when you figure out, okay, this is the skill that I should learn, this is the skill that is being sponsored, is you need to now build on that skill. That's the next thing you should do. You need to build on that skill. And the beautiful thing about building on skill is that you can learn anywhere. The world is now a global village. Resources are everywhere. You can learn on YouTube, you can learn on Coursera, you can use Analytics, you can use EDX, you can use Udemy. To be very honest, there is no excuse. Regardless of your financial capacity, there is no excuse. If you're so buoyant, you can go for a master's program. If you're not so buoyant, you can settle for YouTube, but that will require discipline on your end. You still have AI bots like ChatGPT and Gemini to use to explain certain things that you don't understand. So you must build the skill and then acquire the experience. So I've already mentioned that you can use these platforms to learn, but now how do you get the experience? Remember that many hiring managers are not even willing to give you the opportunity if you lack the experience. So first things first, you can join an internship program like what we do at Amdari. You can decide to contribute to open source projects. You can find them online, right? For people that are interested in cybersecurity, for instance, Linux is an open source project that is everly accepting contributors. You can contribute to that and get the experience. We volunteer for nonprofits and small and medium-sized enterprises. You can decide to take up some gigs rather on platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, participate in hackathons, use case studies, right? But get that experience. And then once you get the experience, you get them in courses like this. So these are simply the programs that we offer at Amdari, like I mentioned earlier. So get the experience. Like I said, there is no excuse. Aside from that, don't just get the experience. Don't just get it. Document. It's very important. That is your proof that I have not just learned, I have not just experienced, but I have my proof. That is what it does for you. It shows that you have your proof. And how do you build that proof of work? Through a portfolio. So part of the things that we give you at Amdari, part of the things that you are entitled to when you join Amdari is a portfolio. Let me just show you. So with this portfolio, you can highlight all the projects that you have worked on with this portfolio. And let me see, let me put it on light mode. Yeah. So you get to see years of experience, tools, projects completed, about me section, the projects you have done, the specialization that you're in, the tools you're proficient in. Really, this is your portfolio. And you see, it's a personalized portfolio. So you can easily share this across the different platforms you want to share it on. So you need to document. Don't just do anything you're doing and just say, oh, my work will speak for me. Your work will not speak for you. I'm sorry. You need to put your work out there so that people see it. You need to post about whatever it is you're doing on LinkedIn, document, have a body of work. People are doing their research on you. They can see the track record. They can see that, okay, this person did this then, this person did that then, and you are valuable. If you have done it before, you can do it again. This is your track record. Many times people might be considering you for a position, but they don't want to outrightly speak to you. So what do? They check your track record. They check your LinkedIn, they check your portfolio if you have any, they check your track record. So if there is nothing to see, how exactly do you prove that you are worth them spending £10,000 on, right? So that is why it's very important. Learning is not enough. Getting experience is not enough. You must build your portfolio however you want to build it. It is important that you have that in check. Now, I would love us to hear briefly from this lady called Okweyemi. For Okweyemi, like many people on the call, even like Jane that I introduced us to earlier, she got into the UK via the school route. She was on the graduate visa and she really put in a lot. She told herself that, okay, I'm going to get into the system. I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to finish with a distinction. And by the time I'm done, I'm going to land myself a role. Recruiters are going to chase after me. But guess what? Yes, she learned, but it was not enough, right? It wasn't enough. So learning is not enough. Learning is important, but it is not enough, right? So let us briefly hear from Okweyemi. And please, if my audio is not audible, let me know, because sometimes Google Meet can be a tad bit annoying. So yes, this is Okweyemi. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Let me rectify that. Sometimes Google Meet can be so annoying. So let me reshare. Don't worry, you hear it now. Okay. Okay, now you should hear it.
Congratulations on securing a data analyst role in the UK. We are more than happy that you're sharing this news with us. Congratulations are in order.
Yes.
All right, so I would like to know, right, because I mean, it's a very, very, very familiar problem. Before transitioning into tech or while transitioning into tech, getting a job is always a struggle. So, what would you say your biggest challenge was in the job search phase, especially as someone trying to get a first job in tech? What was your biggest challenge as a job seeker?
I didn't transition into tech. I've been in tech. I have my BSc in computer science. And then I came to the UK for my master's in data science and analytics. You know, I graduated with distinction, and you will think like, okay, after graduation, you will get the job. Yeah, done up an application.
Yeah.
And then you won't even get any reply, no response at all. I think they call it ghosted. They actually ghosted you, that sort of thing. And then you just want to, even after spending a lot of masters, you are just trying to keep on upskilling yourself, because in the tech space, if you close your eyes, by the time you open it, the world is far ahead of you. So you have to keep on upgrading yourself, being on the top of your game. Yeah, so like I told a friend of mine few weeks ago that one of the best decisions I made this year is Amdari. and I'm happy.
Okay, so please give me a thumbs up if we heard everything that Opeyemi said. Please give me a thumbs up if we heard everything Opeyemi said. Thank you, Esther. Amazing. And if you can resonate with the challenge that she faced, I also want to see a thumbs up. Yes, I know that some people are giving me a thumbs up that they heard, but if you can resonate with what she said, that's that ghosting that they ghost you. You go there, you're all glammed up, you're ready to blow them off their head, or not off their head. You're just ready to blow them away, essentially. And then after putting in that effort, nobody says anything to you. Give me a thumbs up if you resonate deeply with what she said. Amazing, Ahmed. So Bruce, I want to believe your hands are raised because you also resonate. Amazing. So it's a very common challenge, right? Let me see. It's a very common challenge. Yes. So let me see what you're seeing now. Wait, sorry, let me rectify something. But yes, it's a very common challenge that a lot of people face. It's not just peculiar to Opeyemi. It's something that a lot of immigrants face. You spend a fortune going to the UK to study, and then after spending that fortune, it's as if it's going down the drain. Your time is ticking. But thankfully for Opeyemi, she was able to land a job 3 months into her stay with us at Amdari. That's why I could share her testimonial. We still have Laju, so I wouldn't play Laju's video, but I've attached the link to his video. If you'd love to listen to what he has to say, please fill the attendance form so that I can gain access to the link. His story is quite similar to Opeyemi's story. For him, he finished from data science, tried to land a role. He wasn't able to land a role because he lacked experience. At least in his case, they gave him feedback, oh, you don't have experience, so we can't give you that opportunity. And then he decided, okay, he needs to get something done. He heard about Amdari, joined Amdari, and the rest is history. So that is Laju's story. You can definitely watch you can definitely listen to the video through the link that I've attached to this slide. Now, the third thing that you are expected to do is target companies that sponsor. Target companies that sponsor. Now, I have been so generous to attach the link to companies that are currently sponsoring. I got this list today and I've attached it here. 140,000 companies currently sponsoring in the UK. Go through these companies. They are plenty. Go through them. And when you go through them, try and check them out on LinkedIn. Reach out to them. Reach out to people in the company. If you can find them on LinkedIn, reach out to those people. Try and find out, okay, how exactly can I position myself to be brought into the organization? You don't necessarily need to put the whole card on the table. Oh, I am looking for visa sponsorship. No, people usually stay away from people that seem desperate, right? But you putting the cards on the table that, okay, I'm considering this this office, or I'm constantly working with this company. So how can I do that? Now, if you're using your LinkedIn to reach out to anybody, you need to realize that people will check you out. That is why I had to say what I said earlier, that you must make sure that you are documenting. Don't just learn the skill or gain the experience and not document. When you reach out to people, when you go for that interview, when you go for that, if you're speaking to anybody, one thing is evident, and it's that they will check you out. So if a person is doing their background check on you, is there something they should see? Is there something worth seeing? Are you interesting? Right? So that's really it. Now, this list, let me just show you the list. I've attached the link to the list here. So this is the list, like I said. It's a list of, you can see 2026, 3rd, 05. This was gotten this week. Now you can see there are so many. I'm not just saying for the sake of 140. Nope, there are plenty. Let me go to the end of my list. Let me go to the end of my list so you can see what I see here. 140,000 or 140, 882,000. So these are the jobs that are currently sponsoring. A rating, you can see skilled worker, the visas that they are giving out. So make sure that you fill the attendance form so that you have access to these sheets. It's the updated sheets that you can take advantage of. Aside from that, because we at Amdari also understand the what's the word, how stressful it can be to really get these sponsorship. what we have done is that we also have a job board that has visa sponsored roles on them. However, for you to gain access to this job board, you have to have joined Amdari. So let me just show you what the job board looks like, right? But for you to have access to the job board, like I said, you need to be enrolled in Amdari. So it's exclusive access only. You have access to both visa sponsored roles and non-visa sponsored roles. So if you're not so keen on a visa sponsored role, that is fine. So how do you know that a role is visa sponsored? You can see visa sponsorship, and imagine we are having business analysis. I didn't even know that this was here, but you can see business analysis is there, product analyst is there for visa sponsorship, business analyst. So you just see data analyst, data ICT business analyst, project engineer, cyber risk assessment. These are visa sponsored roles. You can see them from the tags that are up here. So what we have done is that we've also made it accessible for our consultants, because we understand that sourcing out these jobs can, in fact, it's a job on its own. It's exhausting. It takes time. It's painstaking. So we have just done this to make it easy for you to gain access to these jobs. So it is very important that you target companies that are sponsoring. Well, beyond targeting companies that are sponsoring, because sometimes you can do that and you might not really see maybe light at the end of the tunnel, or maybe you might have heard from somebody that, oh, this company actually sponsors. But when you go into the discussions with them, what they are offering you is a short-term contract or freelance gigs. Please and please don't turn away from or shy away from contract roles or freelance gigs. Don't do that. And here's the reason. Sponsorship is expensive. And like we've established earlier in the conversation, if a recruiter makes the mistake of bringing in somebody who has an issue with the UK Home Office, what happens is that the company is going to get a strike. So companies want to ensure that they are bringing in the right people. Beyond bringing in the right people, they also need to understand that you're worth the investment. They don't want to bring in somebody that will give them issues. They don't want to bring in somebody that doesn't know what exactly they should be doing, right? So it's very important for them to be sure before they make that decision. That's why they open up contract roles or freelance roles. Now, when you get into those roles, just make sure that you provide value. In fact, that's my next point. Be so good they cannot ignore you, right? So when you finally get your feet in the door through the contract role, be so good, be ridiculously good that they cannot ignore you. Make sponsorship their problem. Make it their problem. Be so good. I keep emphasizing it. Be so good, right? Be so good. It's for your own good. Okay, I didn't intend it to rhyme like that, but yeah, you get the point, right? Be so good because it's for your own good. Make sponsorship their problem, not yours. When you're so good at what you do, you have leverage. You have leverage. Yes, you're an immigrant. Yes, they are spending £10,000 on you, but it's not them spending on you. In fact, it's a business investment. So you have leverage. They will not joke with you. Oh, maybe it's my name, that's why they're not considering me. Maybe it's the way I look. Maybe it's my gender. Do these biases exist? Yes, they exist. But before we turn our eyes and start blaming the bias, the question I will ask you is, are you good at your job? Or it's just a contract role, so I'm not going to take it seriously because it's a contract role. When I get a full-time role and it's a visa sponsorship, that is when I'll take it seriously. That's not true. It doesn't happen like that. There's a common saying from where I'm from that says that how you treat pepper fruits is the same way you treat kola nut. And kola nut is a revered fruit by my people. So if you treat the tiniest of opportunities anyhow, there is absolutely no way that you treat the one that you think you treat so well properly, right? And you must also realize that if you treat a role with levity or because it's a contract role, because it's a freelance role, you behave anyhow, you're not doing anybody but yourself, right? You're building a track record with the people that are working with you, and that track record is not speaking well for you. You're also training yourself to be incompetent. So it's important that you work so it doesn't matter. See, it doesn't matter if by the time you're done there or the contract role that you're on, you don't get an opportunity. No problem. You're getting the experience. You go to the next one. You keep trying, right? You keep trying. The strategy that is involved there. You keep trying, and I promise you, by the time they see the value you bring to the table, it's a no-brainer. They will definitely extend that sponsorship to you. Now, the next person I would love you to hear is Darlington. For Darlington, he joined Amdari, and when he joined Amdari, he started his business analysis journey with us, right? And he now went for an interview. He did something that many people do not do, and that is he did his research on the company, came up with a game plan. In 1 year, this is the problem the company is currently facing. In 1 year, this is my role as a business analyst with this organization. This is how I will improve their problem, or rather, this is how I will improve the situation, right? So let's hear briefly from Darlington. If you're not able to hear the audio, please let me know so that I can rectify it too. But this is Darlington. Sorry, I've not shared the tab. I just realized it. Wait. Okay, so this is Darlington.
So congratulations, Darlington, on landing the role as HC Selection and Implementation Lead. That's the job title, right?
Yes, that's the job title, yeah.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How does that feel?
It feels really good. The important part is you get to apply what you know. The knowledge we've been able to acquire seems to be nothing if you can apply it to a real world problem. So that's the most important part for me and what I'm excited about.
Amazing. So how would you say the experience at Amdari helped you land the role, like from the projects you worked on to the types of mentor you had and all that? How would you say that really, really contributed to you landing this role?
Well, in the interview, my background is data science and sales. So this role is more like a business analysis role. It's a mixture of different bits, but they were not looking for someone who was a business analyst per se, a project manager. They were looking for someone who had a bit of data science background, project management, business analysis. And funny enough, I had never heard of, I had never done anything on business analysis till I got to Amdari. And while I was there in the interview room, I was asked about things like mapping and how you scope the whole process. Just give us a rundown of what you would do if you were to start this role. And I just used everything I learned at Amdari. I spoke about the process, the to-be processes, the project charter, basically the terminology and the knowledge of what I learned at Amdari played a part in that interview. I seemed to be the person that gave them a clear idea of what they are going to achieve in a 1 year period, because they didn't know how to go about it. So they needed someone who was close to what they were looking for. And my knowledge from what I'd learned at Amdari played a huge part in that interview, to be honest.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay,
so it's really great to hear.
If you heard everything that Darlington said, please give me a thumbs up. Please give me a thumbs up. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Esther. Amazing. Now, the next person I want you to hear from is Okwemi. Now, listen to Okwemi and how he prepared himself for his interview.
Part of this experience helped you ace your interview.
Okay, I think number one, to take a perfect timing. So we're working on clustering project in data science class, and as if God was making everything work in my favor again. During the interview, they asked me a question about how do I handle customer action, and we're just working on a project about customer sticking to whether they will use a drop to the end or they will drop out in between. So I emulated the same pattern the way we did it in class, and I started pitching it to them, talking about silhouette, elbow, then using KNN to address. So what is exactly what we're working on to address that issue? The head of department for the time was like, I love that answer. And I think another thing that stood out for me was my mentor, Mohammed. The intro pitch he gave me and the last line of my pitch. So he gave me an idea of I should present based on what I'm saying. I should present like someone that has a solution. So I'm not just giving them what they are now. Make it sound as if I've seen all your troubles and now this is the solution. So he gave me a pitch like I've seen that we are making 1.5 million pounds per year. So the plan is to move it from 1.5 to 2.5 million within the course of next 18 months. And it makes it sound like a roadmap. So you're not saying what you're saying because a few years, right? So there's a roadmap. So he gave me a pitch of we have a 3-month plan, 6-month plan, and 1-year plan, and how to keep tracking to see if we need to make adjustments. So as I was saying all that, it was resonating with their brain. And at the end of my pitch, he gave me also a closing line pitch. Based on all these insights, you can't just keep leaving money on the table And now the next is for us to start deploying this. And how do we go about this? So when do we start? So it made it sound as if I've done everything. All I just need to start deploying all this. So, and the HR, the head of the was like, I love the way you started and I love the way you ended the presentation. So I'm not expert because I never saw presentation in that manner. But those two, like my opening pitch and my last pitch, that gave me really stood out for me. I think it just helped me know the news report when I was in my presentation.
Okay, so please give me a thumbs up if you heard. Give me a thumbs up if you heard everything. Thank you, Ayotunde. I can see what Osa said. He said this is like for imposter syndrome. Yes, we have people who struggle with that. But then again, one of the things that we also try as much as possible to do at Amdari is to boost your confidence, to ensure that imposter syndrome is a thing of the past. Now, with everything you've heard, there's one thing I want us to establish, and it's that your first job as a job seeker is not to look for a job, but is to prove that you can generate value for the company that you're going in for, right? It's very important you do that. It's very, very important that you're able to sit down and you figure out a way to create value for the company that you are interested in. That is your first job. If you have not figured that out, every other thing is secondary, right? You need to understand, okay, you're interested in data analysis, good. You're interested in business analysis, beautiful. You're interested in GRC, amazing. I am happy that you're interested in those things. But after you pick an interest, you now have to sit down and ask yourself, as a data analyst, how can I create value for company A? As a business analyst, how can I solve company B's problem? As a GRC professional, how can I help company C? You must be empathetic, because when you're empathetic, it's now easy for them to work with you. It's easy for them to see the value that you're bringing out. You heard Jerry, sorry, not Jerry, you heard Darlington, you heard what is his name, Okwemi. What they say, they don't know themselves. In fact, Okwemi was on the program before Darlington came in. They don't know themselves. But what got them the jobs that they got? For Darlington, he told them, see, in 1 year, this is the game plan. So he sounded like it was a plug and play situation. Get me on board so that we can hit the ground running. For Okwemi, he did his research. Okay, this is how much they are making, 1.5. Amazing. Okay, see, if we're making 1.5 now, and then if we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we'll be able to take it to this point. So he had a blueprint, he had a game plan. That is the value he can create for the company. So I know that many people, after this call, you might go and, okay, figure out, hopefully you fill the attendance form, you have access to the slide. The next thing you're doing is you go and check out the reports, and then you pick a career path. And you now start taking courses. Yes, you should take courses. That is the starting point. Yes, you should learn tools. That is important. But you must understand on a deeper level the problem that you're solving, so that when you're speaking to anybody, even a child, they can understand what you're doing. Because even when the hiring manager puts out that job posting, many times they don't understand the technicalities involved. They know they have a problem, but they don't know how to solve it. So stop waiting for interviews and talking about how, or rather talking about the tools as opposed to the problem and how you can solve it, okay? So that's the very important thing I want us to establish. And another important thing I really need you to understand is that the market is unkind to the unprepared. You must prepare ridiculously. Even when you feel lazy, you must remember what it took you to come to the UK. You must remember the sacrifices that you made, and that should be the driving force that keeps you going, right? You must be visible, document what you have done. You must be visible, and most importantly, you must have a strategy. You must have a strategy. Okay, maybe this is your first year in the UK. You're excited about it. Oh, you snapped your pictures. You snapped the pictures in the airport, and then people are already envying you. They don't know the fire that you're experiencing. They're like, oh, I wish I was like this person. I wish I was like that person. It's nice, right? The pictures are nice. The Instagram poses are beautiful, but you must have a strategy. You must have a game plan. Because if you don't have a game plan, then after 2 years, after 3 years, you might find yourself back at that same airport, this time with tears in your eyes as you go back to your home country. So you must have a game plan, and I hope that you take everything that we've discussed here into practice. Now, how exactly can we at Amdari help you? How can we position you to really get that visa sponsored role that you want? So first things first, you need to understand that we run an internship, we have an internship system that helps you thrive. But you need to understand that there are 3 things that you need to land a job in today's job market. First, you need to learn, then you need to package, and then you need to apply. So for the learn, we help you learn through our internship program. So we are an internship program, meaning that we don't train you. We actually do not train you. So we expect that at some level, you must have gotten the training, no matter how basic the training was, but you must have the basic understanding of the role that you are interested in breaking into, right? So you must have that basic understanding, and then you now come for your internship with us. As you do your internship, you work on projects. We now help you package whatever it is you've done on the portfolio. You're also entitled to a CV review, a links optimization session, an interview preparation session. So all this helps package you and presents you like a problem solver to the recruiters that you're speaking to. Then for those who want to apply, obviously you're going to apply, but we now give you access to the job board that I showed earlier, where you can apply to both sponsored and non-sponsored role. But for the fact that you're on this call today, I want to believe that you want a sponsored role. So these are the 3 things that you need to land a job, and this is how we at Amdari help you get it. So let me just speak a little bit to the internship program and how it works. So our internship at Amdari lasts for 4 months. And within those 4 months, you get to work on 4 to 5 projects, essentially. So every project lasts between 2 to 3 weeks. Now, you might hear me and say, okay, Christian, I hear you very well. I hear you. But these projects that I am working on, are they real projects? I hope they're not simulated. The answer is no, they're not simulated. Every project that you work on at Amdari comes from our project partners. And you can see a couple of those project partners on my screen. I couldn't put all of them because I have limited space, but these are some of the project partners that you work with. We have AssetGuard, EcoNest, FlowPay, Credify, TrustFlow, and you work on projects from diverse industries essentially. Now, you might also be asking about the flexibility of the program. So, Christiana, how flexible is the program? I'm currently in school. I'm currently juggling 2 jobs. I'm a parent. I'm exhausted. So at Amdari, the foundation upon which we built our internship system is flexibility, because we have busy people joining us. And that's why, yes, it is recorded. Yes, that's Amusa is recorded. And if you want to have access to the recording, please fill the attendance form that my colleague is sharing in the chat section, yes, the chat section. Fill the attendance form so that you can gain access to it. So yes, so I now be asking how flexible it is it rather. So you get to meet with your coach 2 times a week, and the day and time that you meet with your coach is not even forced on you. It's something that is decided by the collective. So the first session you ever have when you join Amdari is what we call the onboarding session. And during that session, you get to meet with your teammates, you get to meet with your coach. And after the introductions have been done, you now decide, okay, when exactly can we be meeting in the week? So depending on the time that is decided by everybody becomes the standard. So if you decide you're going to be meeting by 7 p.m. every Monday and 7 p.m. every Friday, it is the standard. If at any point in time you miss a session, you don't need to bother yourself, because the sessions are always recorded and the recordings are made available to you, so you can watch the recordings. But then we understand that you've invested money into joining this program, so we don't expect you to only watch recordings from the beginning to the end. So by the time you are done with watching the recordings, you definitely have questions that you'd love to ask. We now advise you, we encourage you to come to the WhatsApp group and ask your questions there. If you're not satisfied with the responses that you're getting, you also have the opportunity to book an office hour with your coach. So this is what the office hour looks like. This is a dashboard that you have access to once you enroll into the program. This is the dashboard. On this dashboard, internship, and then you come here, book an office hour. So you book a session here. And when you're booking this session, we are not working with we are not working with our time. If anything, we are working with your time. So you select a time that is convenient for you. Let me just click on it. You select a time that's convenient for you. This is your full name, the cohort, the program, the email address, the phone number, why you're booking the session, so that your coach has a sense of why you're booking the session. And then you book. Your coach will definitely avail themselves on the day of the of the office hour. Mind you, the office hour is different from the stand-up sessions that happens two times a week. For the office hours, they happen when you request for it, and it happens on Google Meets like this. So if you missed a session and you still need some clarification, the office hour will help you get the clarification that you need from your coach. So yes and yes, we understand that you've invested money into the program, so it's important that you get value. Now, for the projects, how you work on the projects are in two ways. You either work on them with your core team, or you work on them with your cross-functional team. So your core team is made up of people who are currently in the same cohort and program as you, right? People in, let's say you're coming for project management, the people that you'll be working with will be project managers in the same cohort as you. And the reason why we do that for your first 2 months is because we need you to get the grounding in the programs that you are interested in. You must know your onion, right? Now, in your third and fourth month, because remember I said that the internship lasts for 4 months. So in your third and fourth month, you have the opportunity to work in cross-functional teams. Now, the teammates that you have during the cross-functional season of your project is determined by the project that you're working on, right? So if a particular project requires a data analyst, a project manager, a business analyst, and a cybersecurity professional, those are the only people that will be on that project. You won't see a product designer, you won't see a DevOps personnel, and that's because their skill set is not needed on the project. So the teammates you have during your cross-functional projects is determined by the project you're working on and the skill set required. Now, regardless of whether you work in cross-functional teams or you work in a core team, the end of every project is marked by a stakeholder presentation, and during that stakeholder presentation, you're expected to put forth the deliverables that you have worked on. Your coach will now give you real-time feedback on what you have done. If there's any improvement that needs to be made, you're going to be made aware. If you did exceptionally well, you'll be given a pat on the back, essentially, right? So with the whole stakeholder presentation, the idea is we need to make sure that your deliverables meet up to industry standards. Now, you're expected to highlight the projects you have worked on your portfolio. I showed you what the portfolio looks like, right? You're expected to highlight the projects that you have worked on your portfolio. It's very important. And most importantly, on LinkedIn documentation. Remember what I said about documentation. Whenever you're speaking to somebody, people will check you out on LinkedIn, people will check you out on Google. You must make sure that when they are checking you out, there is something that they are seeing, something that you want them to see. So gradually, you end up building your body of credibility through the work that you post on your LinkedIn. Now, we are not saying that you must post everything you worked on. If you're not comfortable with that, that is okay. I mean, if you work in a company, you'll not go out there and start posting your whole company's business there, but speak about it. Speak with authority, right? Speak with authority because you did the work, you did the project. Speak with authority so that you position yourself as a subject matter expert. And also, when recruiters are looking into you, they can see that you are a candidate that brings value to the table, amongst other things, right? Now, you might also be wondering, okay, Christiana, you mentioned that I get to work with a coach. So I've been on a program like this before, and I didn't like the coach that I worked with. My coach did not have my time. Now, one thing I need to assure you of is that the coaches that you work with at Amdari are full-time staffs, not volunteer, not contract. And there's a reason why that is the case. We understand that we need people that will be dedicated to you. At Amdari, there's one thing we always say, and it's that the best business decision we can ever make is investing in giving you a good experience with us. And this is important because if you have a good experience with us and people that knew you when you were here now know you when you're here, and they ask you, oh, how did you accomplish this? How were you able to go from here to here? People that know you will now hear that, oh, I worked with a company called Amdari, and you would most definitely refer us to that person will come in. So it's a win-win for us. That is why we make sure that the coaches you work with are dedicated. And we don't just bring them on board and assume that they are going to keep to their word. No, we've also put controls in place to ensure that they keep to their word. Controls like for every session that is happening, it is recorded. Yes, you have access to the recording, but beyond you having access to the recording, we also have access to the recording because we must review it. We must be sure that what happened during that session is in alignment with what we expect to happen. Even the WhatsApp communities or the WhatsApp group that you'll be a part of, the co-founders at Amdari are on that group, right? They're on that group. So they check, they try to ensure that everything is happening the way it's supposed to happen, right? Now, this lady you're seeing on my screen, her name is Jennifer, and she was one of the coaches that managed the August cohort for data analytics last year. And when they finished in December, this is the message that the lady sent, or somebody sent to the group. So this person says, "Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you for all your guidance and support during my internship. I truly appreciate everything I have learned from you. To my amazing colleagues, see you all at the top." So they obviously had a great time with Jennifer. We also have somebody like Elizabeth, still from Jennifer's cohort, that was able to land her first data analytics role within her first month of joining the Amdari program. So this is the message she sends. She says, "Thank you, Amdari. I truly cherished every moment here. Within my first month of joining, I was fortunate to land my first data analytics role with a US-based fintech company. A special thanks to Jennifer for all your support and guidance. Goodbye, everyone." So that is Elizabeth. And no, it is not luck, it's strategy, right? It's strategy. Remember when I said that one of the greatest things you have, your greatest leverage, is strategy. So she implemented the strategies that we exposed her to here at Amdari, and the rest is history. It's not luck. Luck cannot be replicated. Strategy is the one that can be replicated wherever you take yourself. So we still have more people that have this to say about their coaches, because you might see Jennifer and say that, oh, the reason why maybe I'm highlighting Jennifer is because she's an exception, but I promise you, she's not the exception, she's the standard. So you can see here, Ayodeji says, "To Soma, you are an amazing tutor, a leader and a shoulder to lean on. Thank God we still have access to you. Thank you for this platform, Amdari." And then he still goes on to say, "Amdari is a trustworthy company that keeps to her word. I was amazed when Soma said that this was coming to an end." You've seen Ikepo. Ikepo says, so this is Ikepo. Ikepo says, "To Coach Aisha, you are amazing. I'm still pissed that the program has ended, but it doesn't matter. All that matters is impact. And you have been impactful." Kubiat says, "Here's to say special thanks to Emeka to our amazing coach Emeka." And then Joshua says, "Emeka, I feel like hugging you through the phone." And mind you, these screenshots, if you look at them, they were not even taken from WhatsApp. So your offboarding typically happens on a Google Meet like this. So we took these screenshots from a Google Meet like the one that we're having this evening. You can check the chat box now and see that this is how it usually appears. So we make sure that the coaches that we bring are people that will most definitely create value for you, right? Now, aside from that, the employability services that you receive from us at Amdari that I've said over and over is you're entitled to a CV revamp, a links optimization session. You have access to a remote job board that I've shown you. You are also entitled to an interview prep session. So if you heard when Pedro was speaking, he made mention of an interview prep session that he participated in before he went for his interview, and it was that session that helped him to land the role that he eventually got. So why this is important is because there are many people that say things like, okay, Christiana, I keep going for interviews, but I never get callbacks. I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know what the problem is. Many times the problem that you're facing is you don't even know, like you say, you don't know what the problem is. And you may not receive feedback from the coaches, you may not receive feedback from the hiring managers. So you keep repeating that mistake over and over and over and over again. But with Amdari, what we do for you is that we raise that mirror before you so you can see the mistakes you're making. But beyond raising that mirror before you, we also help you know, okay, this is how you can correct the mistakes that you are making. So the interview prep session is not a one-time thing. As many times as you receive an offer to come for an interview, you have the opportunity to request for an interview prep session. And let me just show you how you even do that. Let me not just say, let me show you how you can do that. So still on this dashboard, you have an interview coming up. All you need to do is come to roadmap. And then from here, this is where you book your interview prep session. So we will definitely see this, and we would make sure that you get that prep session. Now, there's a reason why you use the dashboard. We could have easily said, oh, call your coach and tell your coach that you have an interview prep session, and your coach will, arrange everything for you. There's a reason why we use the dashboard, and it's because we want transparency. Once you book this session, your coach will definitely be alerted, but so will the co-founders, so will the employability specialist, so will the team leads. So if from our back end, we see that this person booked an interview prep session and has not yet received an interview prep session, then somebody will be called to order because it's not supposed to be, right? So this is where you book your interview prep session. Aside from that, every Thursday, you receive a mentorship session from us at Amdari. And during this mentorship session, we invite experts in the field to come and speak to you. So the whole idea is that these experts have once been in your shoes. They've once had the struggles that you're currently facing, and thankfully they've been able to overcome that struggle. So at the end of the day, they can speak to you, share some tips and tricks on how they were able to navigate the whole situation, and you too can replicate the solutions that they share with you. Because the beautiful thing about experience is that you don't necessarily need to learn from your experience. You can always learn from the experience of another person. Now, you are also entitled to a reference letter. Let me go back here and show you the reference letter. So for the reference letter, this is it. You request for a reference letter, and the people that give you the reference letter are the co-founders. Now, you either request for a reference letter or you request for our reference detail if you want to use us as a referee. So the whole idea is when whoever is checking you out or doing a background check on you sees the caliber of people that are giving a reference letter, it kind of puts their mind at rest as, okay, if this person can put their name on the line for this person, it means that this person is definitely a value addition to the team. So the reference letter is not a one-time thing. We encourage you to consistently apply to opportunities. So for every time that you need a reference letter for a new opportunity, you let us know, and we will work with you to ensure that we get that reference letter up and running. We work with you to ensure that the reference letter is tailored to your story and also tailored to the opportunity that you're going in for. We don't make anything up, right? We don't make anything up. That is why the reference letter is very effective. And I'll show you samples of the reference letter, and you also have an opportunity to hear briefly from Tony, who made use of the reference letter to land herself a role. Now, excuse me. Now, aside from the reference letter, you're also entitled to on-the-job support. So for on-the-job support, yes, you've gotten the experience from Amdari, but it's possible that anxiety might kick in, imposter syndrome might kick in. And when all this happens, is you need the guidance of an expert. So you can always run back to us at Amdari, and we will be happy to offer you the career support that you need, on the job support that you need. However, we expect that you respect the confidentiality of the organization that you are working with. But one thing that I can assure you of is that we will always be happy to give you the support that you need. Now, these are samples of the reference letters that I spoke about. So for this reference letter, we gave Olayinka, who got an offer as a SOC analyst with Healthcare Ireland. And then with this reference letter, we gave a reference letter to Renee, who got 2 offers as a systems analyst. So for those who are not familiar with the term systems analyst, it's actually another name for a business analyst. So she got 2 roles as a business analyst. And then we have Dan Hoopsy, who participated in the interview prep session. And after participating in the interview prep session, this is the message that he sent to us. So he says, I had an incredibly valuable session yesterday. It provided me with practical guidance, clear strategies that helped me to understand how to present myself confidently and professionally. The session helped me identify my strengths, improve the way I communicate my experience, and understand how to structure my answers effectively. Most importantly, it has significantly boosted my confidence. I now feel more prepared and more aware of what interviewers are looking for. The session helped me overcome the anxiety I previously had about interviews and gave me the tools I need to approach them with clarity and self-assurance. Overall, the interview preparation session has made a meaningful difference in my readiness to apply for jobs, and I feel far more capable of performing well in upcoming interviews. So this is is what this gentleman had to say after an interview prep session. So you can imagine how packed that session was. So now let's hear, I know we've heard some testimonials from people, but let's still hear more testimonials from interns or consultants that joined Amdari and have gone on to do amazing things for themselves. So I would love us to hear briefly from Chineye. For Chineye, she joined our project management track and was able to land a role not too long after she joined us. So I don't want to like spill the beans. That's why I used not too long. Let her tell you by herself the role and when she got it. So if again you are not able to hear the audio,
Are you done with your internship?
if you're not able to hear the audio, please let me know. But yes, let me start playing it now.
Are you done with your internship or you're still in the program?
I'm still in the process, interestingly.
Wow.
We're just
Wow.
2 months.
What months?
in.
2 months
No, we are
in.
now in month 3. So yeah. So I got the job
So you got
almost
the
like
job
end of
when you
month
were about
2.
2 months in.
Yeah, just about 2 months
Wow, at
in
the
was
end
when
of
I got the
month.
job. Yeah.
Amazing. Wow, that was pretty fast. Who would have thought?
It was really fast. That was my
That
first,
was really
trust me,
fast.
that was my first project management interview and I got the job.
Wow. Are you
That was
serious?
the
Wow.
first and the only interview that I did. And I got the
And you
job.
got the job.
Yes,
Wow.
I
And
haven't
that's
done
just
any.
2 months
I wasn't
in.
applying before I came into Amdari. I wasn't applying because I felt like, oh, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
Well, Amdari gave me that confidence to apply for the job and the knowledge and the skills and the experience I took into that interview really helped me. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Chineye, for doing this with us. So nice to have you here.
Yeah.
All right. So we're informed that you landed a role in tech in the UK. So can you tell me what the job title is?
What's the job title? Public Partnership Support Manager.
Amazing, amazing. Congratulations, Chineye.
Thank you.
All right. So I'd like you to tell me, we know you played your part definitely in making sure that you get the job, but then the experience at Amdari also through the internship program, how would you say it also helped you go from being a job seeker to being job ready?
Okay. To be honest, Amdari really played a huge part in helping me to become job ready because I remember joining Amdari and not really having that confidence to be able to even think of applying for a job to start with. So joining Amdari, attending the sessions, the drop-in sessions, working on the projects, even everything, to be honest, from everything about the whole Amdari internship program really helped me because it built that confidence in me. And my consultant has also been very, very helpful. He constantly would tell us, don't wait till the end of internship before you start applying for job. You can start applying
That's Ibrahim,
for jobs.
right?
Yes, Ibrahim, start applying for jobs. Don't wait till. And that's when I hear him say that, it just makes me to immediately after the drop-in session, I'm already going to say, okay, let me just apply for one before I sleep. So that really helped me, to be honest.
And here we are today. Thank God.
Okay, so that is Chineye. Please give me a thumbs up if you heard everything Chineye said. Please give me a thumbs up. Thank you, Bibra. I don't know if I got your name correctly, sorry, but thank you so much. Yes. So the next person I'd love us to hear briefly from is Tony. So for Tony, I want you to hear how the reference letter she got from Amdari helped her to land the role. And this one will be very brief, less than 15 seconds.
That I've learned at Amdari, using them and all this. So it was pretty good. And then the reference too from your hand was pretty tight because they actually had to mention it that my references were hair tight, that they were actually considering 2 people, but my references actually nailed it for me.
Amazing. That glad.
Okay, so that is Tony. You can see how effective the reference letter comes in. So many times you can be qualified for a role, but the only thing that prevents you from getting that role is nobody can vouch for you. So for us as Amdari, we vouch for your skill set so that you do not find yourself in a situation where you don't qualify for a role that you are most definitely eligible to. So I still have more stories I can share, but for the sake of time, I'll just scan through them. And when you get the slides, you can take your time to go through them. Now, I want us to meet Jerry. For Jerry, he was able to complete a data analytics certification in 2025. And then he started applying to jobs then. But unfortunately, he wasn't landing roles. Then in 2025, he joined Amdari. 2 months in, he was able to land himself a role within the civil service. And fast forward to 2026, he moved to Canada. When he moved to Canada, what did he do? He simply reached out to us. He applied to another job, used the experience that he got whilst he was in Amdari, and then referenced us, used us as his referee whilst he was in Amdari. Now, I would love us to hear briefly from Jerry. I would love us to hear briefly from Jerry. Let me see. I would love us to hear briefly from Jerry. I don't know. I stopped sharing my screen. Why? What happened? Okay, I'm coming. I want us to hear briefly from Jerry. Okay, yeah. So you hear from Jerry what his experience was like. Coming up. Great. So just briefly from Jerry.
Congratulations once again, Jerry, on landing the data analyst role in the UK.
Thank you, Mom.
So it doesn't.
Okay.
So yeah, so before Amdari, right, I'd like to know, because this is like something that most newbies in tech, people transitioning into tech face, right? It's a very familiar challenge, which is the struggle of, the biggest struggle pretty much of a newbie. So I'd like to know essentially what was the biggest struggle you faced, or the biggest challenge trying to land a job in tech or trying to transition into tech newly?
Okay. So thank you very much for that question, Naomi. So well, for me personally, and to be honest, so the biggest challenge that I would say that I had at that time was relatable experience. Like, of course, I know that a lot of people don't have experience, but mine is just experience that interviewers can relate to. That's what I never had at that time and all of that. Yeah. So because back forward to Amdari, so of course I did a couple of some analysis, but not industry related analysis. They were in the academia. And I could remember that a couple of interviews that I attended, and then one of the interviewers told me that he has never seen anybody as passionate as I was when it comes to data, because I spoke at length. But all the projects I was given, they could not relate to it. Like they were lost, because these were analysis that I did when it comes to environmental data. This is someone coming from environmental studies, and all the projects I was giving them the environmental data, so they couldn't relate to it. So for me, so even when it comes to applying, so one thing I realized that I didn't have at that time was experience that recruiters could relate to, industry experience. And that was actually the biggest challenge.
Okay, so please give me a thumbs up if you heard Jerry too. So I'm sure that the audio was audible. Please give me a thumbs up. Don't worry, it's the last video. I'll not ask again. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. Now that is Jerry. And then in 2025, after he got the role, this is the message that he shares to his team lead. So he says, "Hi, Emeka. Just wanted to officially let you know that I've landed a data analyst role within the civil service, and it's a level promotion too. I was asked to prepare a presentation on any data analysis project. I edited and submitted our first project. It saved me a lot of time and gave me the confidence that I needed. Also spoke about the SQL project when they asked about data acquisition. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for your mentorship, Emeka. Take your flowers." So you can see that the projects that Jerry made reference to during his interview came directly from Amdari. So it's safe to say that it helped him land his role. Now, fast forward to 2026, Jerry relocated with his family to Canada. And this is the message that he sent to us on the 10th of February. He actually sent it to one of the co-founders of Amdari, and he says, "I hope you're doing well. Hello, Femina, right? I hope you're doing well. I recently moved to Canada about 2 weeks ago, and I've secured a role in the meantime as a data entry specialist with Alberta Blue Cross. For the application, I listed my role at Amdari as a data consultant, and I have now completed the reference section and included your details as a referee. Please let me know if you need any additional information from me. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your support. Kind regards, Jerry." So if you listened keenly to everything I said, I never mentioned, "Oh, please, can I?" He was not asking for permission. He had already done it. because he knew what he was entitled to by the virtue of the fact that he had gone through Amdari. And you can also check him out on LinkedIn, right? This is his LinkedIn page, Jerry Olatoyo. He's even a doctor or PhD, so you can check him out most definitely. Now, if everything I have said on this call has been interesting, then you have the opportunity to join our next cohort starting on the 4th of April. And remember that I said at the beginning of the call that for those who stay to the end of the call, so let me see how many people are on this call now. We have over 60 people on the call. For those who stay towards the end of the session, that I have a special gift for you from Amdari. So tomorrow happens to be International Women's Day. And the theme for this year is Give to Gain. So at Amdari, as our way of saying thank you for joining the session this evening, and to also celebrate International Women's Day, we have now put a 24-hour discount, and this applies to both men and women. So don't feel like, okay, because you're a man, it doesn't apply to you. No, it also applies to you. So for the next 24 hours, we are running a discount. So instead of securing your spot for the typical £500, you have the opportunity to secure your spot for £300. And here are our guarantees. You are entitled to lifetime career support. Remember, I just read Jerry's story, right? I just read Jerry's story, and Jerry was able to come back 1 year later. He didn't even seek permission before he used us as his referee because he knew what he was entitled to. You're also entitled to a reference letter. You see that Jerry was asking for career support and also asking for a reference, or for us to also confirm his reference. So you are entitled to these. And just to mention that for us at Amdari, it's not a situation of once you are done, we tell you bye-bye. No, we are going to work with you for as long as you need us to work with you so that you can secure your spot, so that you can secure that job that you want. So if you would want to take advantage of our International Women's Day discount, please secure your spot either this evening or tomorrow, but this discount is definitely going to end at 11:55 p.m. tomorrow, because International Women's Day is just one day. So do not waste any more time. But that is still not the end of the perks that we have, the gift that we have for you, right? So also, outside the discount that you have, you can secure your spot for as little as £100, right? Secure your spot is as little as £100, and then spread your payment across 3 months. Or you can also decide to go with the full-time payment. I'll definitely walk you through how to go through the full-time, how to secure your spots. But now, we now have more gifts for you. So you have the lifetime career support, which I have mentioned. We also have partnered with an AI company, or a company called CV Matchly. And for CV Matchly, what they do is that they help you to tailor your CV in real time to the job application that you are going in for. So I'm going to show you how CV Matchly works, but really this is their website. You can check them out. In fact, as we are on this call, you can check them out. So they help you to tailor your CV in real time to the job application that you are interested in. Now, when you create an account with CV Matchly, you are expected to pin your, I forgot what they call these things here. But you're expected to pin it, the icon or the extension, that's the name. You're expected to pin the extension on your Chrome. Now, when you do this, let me share my entire screen so I can show you CV Matchly in action. I can show you CV Matchly in action. Just give me a moment, please. Okay, I'm coming. Okay, so you can use any job board. For the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to just use the Amdari job board since we have that. I'm going to use the Amdari job board. I think we're... Okay, I'm coming. So this is the Amdari job board. Let's apply now. And then it's going to open up. So you'll see CV Matchly in real action. So this is the job board, and once it opens, you're expected to copy the job description. And when you copy the job description, you paste it on, yes, so this is the job description. So just copy it. All right, copy it. Okay. So copy your job description, then open up CV Matchly in real time. So this is a CV that's already there. You paste the job role, and once you paste it, okay, I've reached my limits, right? So you can see, but you would have full-time access to this platform for 6 months, right? So I have reached my limits. I just discovered that now. I've reached my limit, so I can't review it in real time. But if this was possible, you'd realize that it would match the job description to the CV that I have submitted, and then I would get to see on a percentage level how close I am to the job description. If I am less than an 80, I have the opportunity to optimize that CV immediately, and then when I optimize the CV, I can still, reanalyze it, and you realize that the percentage will be closer because it will tailor my CV to the job description that I am coming in for. So really that's CV Matchly in action, and you have 6 months access to it. So these are part of the perks of joining the cohorts that's starting, in April, within the next 24 hours. And most importantly, you have lifetime access to your personalized portfolio. So let me show you what the portfolio looks like. These are what the portfolio look like, right? These are what the portfolio looks like. And mind you, I showed you a portfolio before. That's just one template. We have over 20 templates that you can make your selection from. Now, when you join Amdari, everybody has access to the portfolio, but your access is restricted after 6 months. And that is because we are paying for this, and it can get pricey quite quickly. But thankfully, through the partnerships that we have gotten, we now have some slots. So for this IWD discount that we're running, we have 20 slots that have been opened up, right? 20 slots that have been opened up. So for the first 20 people to secure their spots, you have the opportunity to have lifetime access to your portfolio, right? Now, my colleague has shared the link to securing your spots in the comments, in the comment section. So let me just walk you through how you can secure your spot, and I'll take questions in the next 5 minutes. Let me just walk you through how you can secure your spot. So if you click on the link that she has shared, let me use data analytics for my example. Now, if you click on the link that she has shared, you will come to this website, click on the program you're interested in, and then from here you can do a little bit of reading. So you find out the tools you're using, you find out a little bit about the program, but aside from that, you also have the opportunity to check out the mentors that you get to work with. You can check them out on LinkedIn to see the quality of people that we provide you with, and then you click on apply now. So when you, or rather enroll now, right? Ideally, what happens is that you are taken to a creation page, an account creation page. The reason why you're taken to that account creation page is because you are, the reason why you're taken to that account creation page is because you currently do not have an account with Amdari. So it's a very straightforward process. Once you set up your account, you will now be brought to this page. So this is the payment page. Firstly, you find out, what cohort do you want to enroll in? So if you are not available for the April cohort, you can always enroll for the May cohort. So you are open to that. And then you now choose the currency that you will be paying in, whether it's pounds, USD, euros, or Canadian dollars. And then you will now have the opportunity to either pay full-time payment or 3 installments. Now, for the full-time payment, you have a further discount of £280. So instead of the £300, you can secure your spot for £280. You see this coupon code here, please do not mess with it. Just leave this coupon code how it is, right? It's set up for you. The link that we shared with you is a special link so that you can have access to this. So please do not mess with this coupon code. If you do, you're going to pay the full £500, right? Now, once you're done with this, let's say wait for the 2-time installment payment. Once you're done, you now click on proceed to payment. When you proceed to payment, you'll be taken to this page where you should confirm your details. So your first name, your last name, the email, the phone number. If you're not satisfied with this, you have the opportunity to to edit your information. And then when you edit your information, you correct it. Then you also see your payment plan. So if your first payment is coming in today, you now know that your second payment is coming in on the 7th of April, which is exactly 1 month from now. But if you feel like, okay, on the 7th of April, you won't have money because that's not when you get your paycheck, you can still edit the time. So you have the grace period of that's the grace period of the last month in the grace period of the last day in the month that you're supposed to make your payment in. So instead of the 7th of April, you have the opportunity to secure your spot for the 29th of April. So this is how much you're supposed to pay. This is the discounted fee, and this is your first payment. So you click on, I confirm that my information is correct, and I've read the terms and conditions. Please read the terms and conditions if you haven't. So once you do that, you click on Pay Now. Once you do that, you click on Pay Now, and you'll be taken to a Stripe page where you make your payment, input your card details, and really the remaining part is straightforward. Now, once you do that, let me also show you what you're entitled to. Once you secure your spot, you're entitled to access to the Learn platform. So if you're on this call and maybe it's been a while that you took a course and you feel like, okay, you're rustic, one thing that we have done at Amdari is that we have put together crash courses across the different programs that we have: data science, data analytics, data engineering, and you have access to all these courses at no extra cost. So let's say, since we use data analytics, then you can click on data analytics, and then you see different crash courses that you can take for data analytics to bring you up to speed. If you're interested in business analysis, for business analysis, you can click on it, and then you can start taking the crash courses. So if you enroll this evening, you have access to these crash courses. You can start taking advantage of the crash courses pending when your cohort starts in either April or May, depending on which of the cohorts that you enrolled for. Now, aside from this, right, you also have, that's when you get access to the slide. You also have the opportunity to go through some of the projects that we have worked on at Amdari. So this is not to say that you're going to work on the same project, but it's giving you a feel of the quality of projects that you will work on when you join the Amdari team. So thank you, everybody, for your patience and your time. I will be taking questions now, but thank you, everybody. In fact, let me give you a clap for staying till the end. Thank you so much. So if you have any question, kindly raise your hand or drop a message in the chat, and I would gladly answer your question. So let me see. Okay, so Ayotunde Akinwumi, what about those who have registered? Okay, and unfortunately, Akinwumi, this is in celebration of the International Women's Day, right? So for those that join, it's the celebration of the International Women's Day. That is why the discount is running. By tomorrow, it will most definitely be retracted. Okay. So I saw a thumbs down from, I can't remember that name. I never picked the name. But yes, you can unmute yourself. So, okay, so that the place does not become too crowded, please, you can raise your hand and then speak. Then, hi, Bruce. Hi, Bruce. I can see your hand raised. Do you have a question for me? Hi, Bruce. Okay. Hi, Bibire. I can't pronounce your name very well, but yes, you can go on. I can see your hands are raised. You can unmute yourself and speak, actually. Who is Bibire? Okay. Okay. Bruce, Bruce, you're not.
Sorry,
you're
I
not
wasn't able to
speaking.
unmute myself because it was.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Good evening. Sorry, what about
Hi,
those that
evening.
registered last week? Is there and we attended this session and we waited to the end? Did you have something for us to? Because I actually asked, I think I spoke with Rita before I registered, and I knew I mentioned that. Is there any promo coming up so that, because I know I do not have the money at that time, but I wanted to, it was a must for me to do. So I was like, oh, if there will be a promo that I could take advantage of, so that I should just delay it a bit. But like I thought if I do not register that day, maybe the I think there was still discounts of 30% or so on it. She was like, it will go back to the original. Of course, I know this International Women's Day, Analytics normally give discounts. So like what I'm saying in excess is there should be something for us as well, because we paid, I think I paid about 3 days ago. So I'm pained that I paid and there's still more discounts I could have taken advantage of.
Okay, hi, Bibire. I'm so sorry that you are feeling that way. Like, actually, the payment has gone back to 500, right? But then there was a management conversation that happened. That's on Saturday. Sorry, not on Saturday, Saturday, on Friday. And we realized that we have to do something for International Women's Day. So it's just for now, right? But then since you're on the program, I'm going to have to escalate this to management, but this is not me giving you any assurance, but it's just for 24 hours. After 24 hours, it's going back to 500 pounds. But sorry, I'm laughing, right? Sorry, I'm laughing. It's not intentional. It's not intentional, but I can understand your anger, not even pain, your anger, right? So I'll have to escalate it, right? I hope this answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so let me answer. Esther says, if you're not ready to start the internship now, can you still pay now? Okay, yes, you can. If you're either paying for April or May, you can secure your spot now. That's Esther. Yes, you can for April or May. It doesn't extend beyond May, right? So if you're ready to secure your spot, my colleague will share the link again and you can do that. Then can you intern in multiple positions simultaneously if you have the capacity for it? So yes, you can, but here are the downsides. If you want to intern in multiple positions, the first thing you have to realize that you're going to pay twice, because what the payment you're paying for is just for one program. So you're going to pay, if you're using this discount, you're going to pay 300, 600 pounds. Aside from that too, these programs run, what do they call this thing? They run simultaneously. So if the what's the word I want to use now? If let's say business analysis, I don't know the program you're interested in, but if business analysis says, okay, we're going to meeting on Mondays, 7 p.m. and then let's say you're also enrolling for data analysis, you now go in and they say they want to meet at 7 p.m. You realize that you're chasing too many things and you're not catching anyone. So it will overwhelm you, to be very honest. So my honest suggestion will be select one, finish with that one, and then enroll in the next one. That is the best way to gain value for your money. That is, I'm answering your question, Daye. That's Daye Ere Koshima. Sorry, I know I did not pronounce your name, please forgive me. So what dates precisely are the April and May cohorts starting? Okay, so the April and May cohorts, April is starting on the 4th, and then May is starting. Let me check. I'm coming, please, let me check. April is starting on the 4th, and then May is starting on the 9th of May. So that is to answer Olukoya's question. Please give me a thumbs up if you got my answer. Hi, Olukoya. Okay, so yes, so I hope those dates are comfortable for you so that you can secure your spot. Let me share the link again to secure your spot. Like I said, it is only running for 24 hours. You can see that I've already entered trouble because even up to this afternoon, it was 500 pounds. We actually took it back to 500 pounds. But then for the celebration of International Women's Day, okay, thank you, Jennifer. For the celebration of International Women's Day, we are running this. So please take advantage of it. So any other question? Any other question? Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Lukoya. Thank you, Daye. Daye, did you get the response that I gave? I didn't get any feedback or any thumbs up from you. So I'm sure that you heard everything I said. What about those that have read? Gayotunde, I don't know if you heard the question that I also, okay, amazing. So yes, we've dropped the link. You can secure your spot via that link. Now, the mics have been unmuted. If you have any question, please, you can raise your hand and then I'll answer your questions. You can raise your hands and I'll answer your questions. Okay. Is the training flexible for those studying presently? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So you get to meet with your coach 2 times a week. And the day and time that you meet with your coach is not even forced on you, right? It's something that during your onboarding session, you collectively decide, okay, this is where we are going to be meeting. So if at any point in time you miss a session, sessions are recorded, and then you still have the opportunity to book an office hour. So office hours are simply you missed a session or you have a question to ask your coach. You now go to your dashboard. Let me show you what that looks like. You go to your dashboard and then you book an office hour with your coach. Your what do they call this? The office hour is them working with your time. So it's not as if we are working with our own time. Sorry, we are working with your time. So based on when you said you'll be available, we avail ourselves. So this is where you book that session. You missed a session and you want to get that office hour feel. So this is where you book the session. You come here and then you just put in your details and the reason why you're booking the session. So it's that straightforward. So Olukoya, did you get that? Hi Olukoya, did you get that?
Sorry, those of us that have registered, can we go and sleep?
Okay. Oh, okay,
Me.
yes, you can.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, you can. Okay, any